Right. So remember, I said you had two opportunities. So it's really just to balance and to see which side is the heavier side. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go right. I'm going to invite those that are at the back to draw a little closer to the front. We're going to go right into our first presentation this evening. We're going to go right into our presentations. I'm going to invite you to come a little closer. You ready? As you have been hearing for a few weeks now, this evening we'll be talking about two very, very important topics as it relates to parenting and raising children and taking care of children. And so I invite us to listen attentively. We'll be talking about sexual abuse and we'll be talking about bullying. And we are going to start, the first presentation will be on sexual abuse. The presenter will tell you how she prefers, whether she'll take the questions at the end of her presentation or during. So she'll indicate that to you. I invite you to listen attentively. So the tokens that you have received so far are from our cyber incident response team, and the head of that unit, Dr. Hewlin, she'll be doing the second presentation on bullying. So we're going to go right into the first presentation, and our presenter for this evening is Mrs. Angela Gibbons Suraj. I got it right this time. And she is the wife of one husband. She's a mother of two wonderful children. Yes, Dr. Hewlin, she's the wife of one husband. I'm, I'm sure. She has a BSc degree in social work from the Northern Caribbean University. She also has certification in clothing and textile from Hart, and she worked at Shandy's Fashion. And presently, she's with the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, formerly the Parents, formerly the CDA, Child Protection and Family Services Agency, and it used to be the CDA. She is a child of the King who enjoys singing, discussing current affairs, and giving jokes and laughing. Please put your hands together and give her a warm Bethel Stony Hill welcome.
Thank you very much, Miss Hadman. Hadman is the name? Hadman is the name? Okay, so it's Missionary Hadman, right? Thank you for that warm welcome. Good evening, parents and children. Listen. Good evening, parents and children. And how are you? I know it's a little bit cold on the outside, but in here is a little bit warm. So I'm expecting the warmth to be shining, right? Alrighty. So this evening we are here on two very important topics. Mine is that of child abuse with emphasis on sexual abuse. Can anybody tell me what is child abuse? Before I even get into it. Child abuse. All right. All right. So this bright mother at the front with a young baby is saying that child abuse come in different form. So you have verbal abuse, you have physical abuse, you have sexual abuse, you have neglect, and the list goes on. Abuse is specifically concerned with the needless brutal injury to and death of children. Child abuse, including sexual exploitation of children, is a problem reaching epidemic proportion in Jamaica. I think within 2 months or so, we have lost 70 children. Yes? I'm not talking about the ones now who may have gotten a chop or a burn somewhere. I'm talking about 70 lives, 70 prime minister, 70 governor general, 70 doctors, 70 great minds that have gone down the drain already. All right? Child abuse is defined as the maltreatment of children, physical abuse, being given inadequate care, nourishment, deprivation of adequate medical care, insufficient encouragement to attend school, consistently exploitation by being forced to work too hard or too long, exposure to unwholesome or demoralizing circumstances, sexual abuse, and emotional abuse, neglect. All of these, our children in Jamaica and across the world are experiencing. Children today, we find parents who, I am not sure if it is because we weren't given a booklet when the child was born at Jubilee or wherever. We weren't given a booklet to say, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So it's a learning process. It's a process for us that as we go along, there are some things that we eventually just find a way and we develop certain kind of skills and all of that in taking care of our children. However, our social background has a lot to do with how we treat our children. So the way in which I was brought up, that's basically what I have to give my child. Well, that's how typical parents think that's what they have. Because I would suggest that in today's world we have more than what we would have gone through during our childhood days. Because the internet now provides us with a lot of empowerment. Yes? So we go on Google and we Google all sorts of things that really have nothing to do with us. But when we are supposed to go to Google something that will edify us or empower us to become better parents, better grandparents, better guardian, better auntie, better uncle, we have no time for any such thing. All right? So it's far beyond just social upbringing. We can attain this skill from elsewhere. We can also attain this skill from seeing somebody abusing their child. And we know right away that I am not going to do this to my child. Parents today, I find very often take out their frustration on their children. So, mommy and daddy had a bad night, and tomorrow nobody goes to school because daddy leaves the home without leaving any money. Mommy not working, and so she don't have any money to send the children to school. And I'm so stressed right now that it better everybody just go to them bed, go sleep. Yes? Daddy and mommy had a quarrel. They may have fight. So a child wake up tomorrow morning and can't find the socks. And I'm going very simple because I realize in my job that there is no real thing why the parents are doing what they are doing. They are trivial things. There are things that parents can say, go and have a seat. I'll discuss it with you later. Go and have a seat. I'll deal with it later when I'm more calm and at peace. So, parents having a bad night, bad morning, and he or she decides that, you know what? I'm so mad right now. I don't know where to take my anger. I don't know what to do with it. So the child wakes up and can't find a foot of the socks. And right away, mommy didn't even think that, all right, I can assist the child by searching for the socks. Right away, the child gets some box and kick and slap. Yes? Maybe hit into a wall. Because parents or guardian doesn't know how to solve their own issues. Now, these children have nothing to do with the issues that we are facing as adults. Because in truth and fact, we are the ones who created these. Amen? Yes, we are the ones who created our own stress, our own problem. And when we can't find any way to deal with our problems, we take it out on the poor little ones who don't even understand what you are or I am going through. Right? And so we abuse them physically. We cut them. We leave cocos. We bust up them head because them can't hear. We have parents beating children for can't even count to 5. And some of these children are babies. Children learn at different pace. Yes? And so this 5-year-old or 6-year-old may not be as bright as Uncle so-and-so when his child was going to school. And so because I say to him, count to 5 and him reach 6 before him reach 5, I decide to slap him head into a wall. Because the boy don't. But it's not the child's fault. It's our fault. A part of our breakdown in Jamaica is that we find adults knowing or suspect that some children are being abused. I know my business. I know Fimi Pitney. So I don't care. It's not my child. It's not my business. Me now make nobody big see me or cost me for them business. And so we watch these children being abused by parents or whoever they live with. And we say nothing. We don't report it. We watch children in our community Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next week come, 1 month come, 2 months, child not going to school. Nobody say anything. Child sick, not being taken to the doctor, nobody say anything because it's not my child. I want to say to the persons who are here tonight that you too have a responsibility. And the responsibility that you have as a responsible adult is to report any form of abuse suspected. I am not even going to tell you that the ones that you know, the one that you even suspect that there may be something happening. And I am saying it also more so to the church body. That as people of God, our aim should be that all is well. Right? And so I encourage us to report these things that are happening. I know there may have been fear that if I call the police, they might just tell the people them say, me say it. But there are other ways. If you call OCR, they can't call your name. Because OCR don't know you. And you won't have to give your name. Just tell them the address or the name or where the person is so that they can do their investigation. And that's how we will save lives. That's how we can save the 70 children that we have lost already. I take it that most of those lives could be saved. There was a 14-year-old incident at, it's not Trenchtown, I think Arnett Gardens. One of those volatile, yeah, I think it's Arnett Garden. The 14-year-old left home, and apparently it is the norm that she go out and she come in when she want to come in. Yes? So she went out, mother says nothing. Hours pass, mother says nothing. But you know what happened? Because we are not our brother's keeper. Yes? Because we're not watching over anybody else's children. Because of feed and pitney and them really need to take care of feed and pitney. While the incident was taking place, the mother of the child heard when somebody cried for rape. The mother of the child heard when somebody cried for rape. But it's not my child. So I wouldn't even venture to go find out. I wouldn't even raise an alarm to say that somebody may have been in danger. But unfortunately, death bounced upon our door. And when reality steps in, it was our own child that was crying out for help. So that's how selfishness comes in. Because sometimes we're saving, and we think we're saving other people's children, but we're saving our very own. So I am sure she must have said to herself, I am so sorry I did not raise an alarm. Because chances are, even if they had killed the child, she would not be burnt. The child was killed here, and the child home was right there. So it was this close. It was a fence that part the home and the dead ground. Parents, guardian, be not selfish in the world that we are living in. Because the world that we are living in is so much against our children. Gone are the days when people would see your child in wrong or in problem and help them. Those days are done away with. But I say to the conscious one among us that those days should remain. The millions of children that died. I don't know how many of us have visited the Ananda Dean statue downtown and would have seen the amount of names that are listed, and those names are only the names that were reported. A lot of children die, and there's no report. Somebody's still not found. It could have been my child, it could have been yours. So we say to persons, even if you have a gut feeling that something is wrong, cry out for help for the child. You don't have to walk in the community and say, I am going to call OCR. If it is a community that you know you might endanger yourself, you don't have to do that. You don't have to tell anybody that you're calling OCR. But I say to you, report. So the gut feeling, and I'm going to share just one of the example that I have here, based on the time. It said, Angel, age 4, didn't want to sit down when one of the caregivers at the daycare center asked for her too. It was almost as if she was in pain. The caregiver called the center's nurse so that she could examine angel. The nurse found a donut-shaped burn on her buttocks. So the parents burned the child, or the guardian, or whoever it was, burned the child and sent the child to school. Anybody ever pick up your tea cooking rice or anything and you pull up the pot cover and the steam catch it anywhere? Sometimes if you smell it and you smell the natural here. Yes? So an adult took an iron or took whatever it was and burned the child. You know, honestly, I want to be a member of the police force. And the place that I would like to work is Sissoko. Because I know for sure I would drop no catch. I would drop no catch. There's a system in our country that if I run after you today and don't catch you, that's it. I'd follow you to your grave. Because when I looked at a 4-year-old being burned, and as an adult, I cannot manage the steam from a pot, those persons I consider to be heartless and deserve to pay the penalty. I have gotten a case the other day where a 1-year-old child was sexually molested by her stepfather. And when I see those cases, I pursue them more that I'm going in the police force. And the only place I want to work is Sissoko. Because a stepfather like that, I am going to follow him anywhere. If it takes sleepless nights, I am going to get him. Because you have the mother, and you're doing what you want to do with the mother. And if it is that you want another, there are so many adults on the road. If you want to go back road at Portmore, you can go on to. And you have all sorts of road that people can go. But when you're going to look at a baby, and you fondle a baby, I pray that is the penalty. Because some people just make you really want to get them. Because of what is happening. And sexual abuse has become so nasty in Jamaica that it don't even funny. You find fathers molesting their children. And they're not only molesting opposite. They're molesting same. You find mothers molesting their children. And I wonder where under God's heaven, where the idea come from. But I know it's a plan of the adversary. I know it's Satan himself. When you find a grown adult having sexual intercourse with a child, and especially if they reach 16, age of consent, big man and big woman, they do business. But the age of consent needs to be taken as far as 25. Because a lot of who we are saying is adult, they are not mature. They don't know what is it to be an adult. They just accumulate the years because of the time, but they are not matured enough to know what is an adult, what is the duty of being an adult. But our adults of our society, they abuse them. So we find parents knowing that my 16-year-old is being molested by my husband, who may not have been her father, or my boyfriend, and dare she come to me and tell me that. Lie she a lie. Because I depend on my husband. I him bringing the bread. I him a minor from she born. Because her papa did pregnant me and gone boy in business. So she go sit down and shut her mouth. But the children, they are suffering both ways. Because they are suffering emotionally. They are suffering mentally. And they are suffering sexually. A lot of parents shove their children aside and say telling lie. Not no go so. In pass and brush you. Are you mine? You know what? Come go to your papa. Because a liar tell. And because of that, the children, they become withdrawn. Them not tell you nothing more. Not another word. So even when they are dying, they are not going to tell you. Because you've set up a blockage already. You set up a wall that they cannot go through. Those children, when they go to school, they don't learn. Those children, for most part, become troubled children. In school, at home, everywhere. Because what? The inside is crying out for help. But there's nobody. There's nobody to help them. So they may have endangered themselves now into a cycle. Because they are searching for something that should be at home, but it is not. This should be at home, you know. When everything else outside gone bad. When fire outside, home is where you run because that's where cool water is. But home now become a battlefield. It become fire. It is so hot now that nobody wants to run back home. So they go on the street, and here comes another culprit who decide that, oh, you're hurting. I have love for you, my daughter. My son, I want you to be my adopted child. And away again the child go into sexual and other abuse. Because what? Mommy run me. Daddy run me. I have nobody else to go to. So here comes another person who takes me now as his or her own child. You can come and stay with me, you know. Tell your mommy, I'll take you. And mommy gladly send you because you tell lie upon her boyfriend. So you're going to live in a one relationship. This is not a parent-child relationship. This is another culprit looking for somebody to hurt. But parents, I say to you, be a parent. Be the influence for your child. Be the role model for your child. Listen to them. If they come with a story, listen. I am not saying that they won't tell lies. But if it not go so, it's soon and near go so. If it not go so, it's soon and near go so. Listen to your children. Sit down with them and tell them everything. Because guess what? You see what you hiding from them? You see where you are keep up under one sheet and where you are covered down? You see the baby where you tell them say play and bring come? And you and daddy are brother and sister? You see them foolishness say when I tell them? Watch it. Watch the foolishness when I tell them. Because as small as they are, believe it or not, they may not be able to explain the term, but they know it. They know everything that is going on. They know penis different from vagina. They know what is sex. In case you think that these are some little angels who far from the commonwealth of knowing. Parents, they know. So you be the first person to tell them. You be the first person to expose your child. Because it's when they go on the street and somebody ready to tell them, they're going to listen. They're going to listen. And trust no other person to educate your child but you. Because if I am going to educate your child, I'm going to tell the child what I believe, my own perspective. If Mrs. is going to do it, she's going to give them her own perspective. When you as parents do your job, then I won't have a job to do because you would have done what you're supposed to do with your children. Don't give them no funny name for call nothing. No give them no funny name for call nothing. Because them know the right name already. They know the right name already. So no give them nothing else. Give them it. Once they can understand it, give it to them. And as they grow, you give them accordingly. So you continue to empower your child. Continue to teach them. So nobody else will get the job. A lot of us as parents, we allow people to call our children names. And we allow the neighbor to touch them. And laugh. Look good here? And we laugh. Neighbor come and touch them on embrace. Your titty grow. Yes, that grow and parents laugh. Because it become a joke. And we make everybody touch a pitney them. Everybody grow them. Everybody. Mark you, I'm not saying a village shouldn't raise a child. But not everybody should have hands and say in your child's life. Because not everybody is on the same mission. Not everybody have your child at heart. So your child should not be exposed to anybody. Any man come from here, so you them jump up in a them lap. An 8-year-old in my community lost her life. You know, downtown, you know why? Her mother was selling, she was there, and a gentleman came and offered to buy her a patty. And the patty put the child 6'6". So now allow your children to take things from everybody. Anybody has something to give your pitney, carrot come give you. If I want patty, you want buy her, buy it, carrot come give me. But we allow our children to just divulge in any company where we in. Them up and personal with everybody. So my friend, a dear friend. Parents, the world that we are living in is crazy. I say I don't even trust the father of the child with the child. I don't trust the mother of the child with the child to tell you how serious it is. You see incest? Very common. You see the uncle where we say, are your uncle? I'm going to live with your uncle. I'm going to go to town. You see that same uncle there? Sometimes I molest the child. I know far old people realize now I molest children. Are them cousin? Are them uncle? Are them mother friend? Are them mother this? Are them father long time friend? Are them people that molest them? Are them people that abuse the children? And are them people that to kill them? Because most time we set up a barrier. Don't go anywhere with strangers. And they don't know miss, they're not going with you at all. But here come auntie over here. So I know auntie come, mommy did go in our house and mommy did do this. And who you think abuse them? That same auntie there. Stranger not do them nothing, you know. Because them don't have a barrier already. Say, stranger, don't go to stranger. They stop to give you a ride, don't take it. You see the world we live into? Technology has taken it a far away. And we don't know, say, and our friend Earth, and our enemy Earth we. Yes? It's the person we hold close. Me and you sit down and we eat and we talk. Have a good time. But are you same one? When me not there, are you a fondle my daughter? Are you a sex my daughter? Me and your friend, you know. Come and you eat and drink and we have a good time. But are you a do it? You understand? You doing it. And we have to expose our children to these things. We have to let them know. I said don't allow stranger, but don't allow anybody at all to touch a certain place, to say certain thing to you. Don't entertain certain arguments. Because once you entertain certain arguments, it means that you're opening up a scope that people can do as they like with you. We're not really just running to people, you know. We feel them out. So we come on your house and we say you're welcome me. We watch it and we see. We go up your little daughter. You don't really act no way. You don't say go inside. No? Say yeah man, I'm a friend. Hug up, kiss her upon her cheek, and bring back something next week for her, you know, because it's a little girl I like. And I dare so the grooming start. May I send something for you again, Susie? And we take it. We gladly take it. Because we so dire need that we gladly take it. Susie, Tom, send it for you, you know. And you don't know sometimes, because these children, they are so smart. They will be sleeping and eating and drinking with you, and you don't know what they're doing. Worse if you're a parent that they can't come and relate certain things to. They can't come and say to you, you don't open any scope that they can actually come and say anything at all to you. Because then when I come and tell mommy this, she go around me. So I not tell her, me I go and do what me I do. And so because of that, we find so many of our children being abused. Sexual abuse, I find it so devastating. Because as I said before, it doesn't only destroy the child physically. Emotionally, they are destroyed. And sometimes they withdraw themselves. Sometimes they kill themselves. Because they can't manage the pressure. While going in at the head space, they can't manage it. They don't know how to process it. Because some of them know that this is not supposed to be. But it happen. It's happening. They can't help it because sometimes they are threatened. If you talk, me kill you. If you talk, me tell you X, Y, Z what you do. And so I'm saying to parents, groom your children in the right way. Tell them the right thing. Use the Bible as your guide. Use the Bible as your guide. That's the purpose of the word. I say to our parents, allow your children to go to church. Sunday school, Sabbath school, whichever school it is. Send them to church. Allow them to learn the words of God because it is a guide. Some years ago, I think it was Ronald Tweet when he was Minister of Education. He said the children who do well in school were the children who attend Sunday or Sabbath school. Because this is not only education, it's a holistic education. So you're taught, or you're supposed to be taught everything at church, so you'll be a rounded person. You can identify as a child what is wrong, what you're not supposed to be doing, what you're not supposed to be engaging. But we find parents don't send their children to church. We send them elsewhere. Birthday party I keep down at Golden Spring, them gone. Town one party there, town we send them. Them gone a country, gone do this. Them go this or go do that. Church is so near. But them have something to do. Homework. Them have to do them homework Sunday. Them can't leave out of the yard. Or them have something to do Saturday. Them can't leave. Send the children to church. If you as adult don't know the use of it, send them. They will. I say to us, be the influence for our children. Let you be the role model. Let your child say, I want to be like mommy or I want to be like daddy. Don't allow somebody else outside to groom your child because grooming is very common. Very, very common. Very, very common. And so I say to us, grow good children, grow positive children, grow children who will bring change to society. Don't bring children who I may have the trouble of finding a space in a facility for because parents refuse to do their job. Don't bring children who Madden or one of those funeral home may have to enlarge their business because so many children are dying. Don't give the funeral parlors any work with our children because we are killing and we are abusing those who are to come and take care of us. Our future doctors, future nurses, future teachers, future lawyers, future police officers, future soldiers, we are destroying them parents and adults, guardians. We're destroying it. And so sooner or later, we may not have a runner-up for the prime minister because they are all dead from childhood days. Thank you for listening. Any question? No question? I was that clear? Okay. And so I say to you, have a good evening and be the influence for your child.
Let's put our hands together one more time. Okay, who want to volunteer to tell me, give me 3 things that you learned from the presentation? That was a hand on the back? Yes. Yes, you same one. Looking sideways and smiling. Stand and tell us, yes, you. No, man, should get to know. Yes, I know. Good job. Give her a hand. And we have a prize for you, so you can come up for your prize. Okay, one more volunteer there. So you're going, okay, Sister Geneva, you're going to have to ask the question that I was going to ask and answer it. You're presenting it back to her. Yes. Okay, thank you. So my next question is, she mentioned a number of precautions that parents can take especially where it concerns child abuse. There are some things that we can do to protect our children and to avoid. I want somebody to tell me 3 of those things. Yes, Sister Geneva. I must give her the prize. Okay, one last one. I want a parent to tell me 3 things that stood out the most for you in terms of what you learned tonight. And I want a male parent this time. I'm going to take you as well, but I want a male to come. Dum, da-da-da. Let's listen. Good job. Give him a hand. Okay, yes, very good. You're doing well, man.
Okay. I love to hear when the males participate. Yes, very good. When you have the camera, I present this as a token to you. Thanks for coming and you have listened well.
Sister Geneva is going to come to say the official thank you to our presenter.
Yes, good to have you. And on behalf of the Family Life Ministry, I want to present this to you. Thanks for coming.
But thank you very much, parents. You did very well, and I can see that everybody was listening attentively. So I invite Sister Geneva to do the official thank you before we move into the next presentation.
Good night, everyone. I'd like to say thank you. I don't know her name. Thank you, Miss or Mrs., for coming to us tonight here at Bethel Stony for your great encouraging words. You know, I am a young mother. I have a little 4-year-old daughter. And sometimes it gets so difficult for me to really deal with her. And sometimes I have to ask the Lord, even though it's not really serious, sometimes, you talk to them, they don't hear. Sometimes she cut her, her eyes off me and all of that. Sometimes I have to talk to God because she's just 4 years old. And tonight I like to say I extremely thank you for your encouraging words. It really uplifts me. And I'm here standing here tonight. And to be honest, my heart is like, my heart is kind of thrown away, meaning, I know a lot of people don't know this, but I'm really struggling with it. I am an adopted child. I don't know my birth mother, I don't know my birth father. Sometimes I even come to church at the altar, I come to church at the altar just for the Lord, because to be honest, I need a lot of counseling. So when I even hear you talk about child sexually molested and all that, I wasn't sexually molested, but to see that my parents, they went away, left me, people with different people, strangers, and I'm here, I'm year old tonight. It really touched my heart. It's burned my heart. It touches me. Even though I wasn't sexually molested, but at least they gave me away 2 months old. And I'm here standing, it hurts me. Even though I'm big, sometimes I cries. It hurts. And I just say thank you for your encouraging words, and may the Lord continue bless and keep you.
Thank you very much, Sister Geneva. I know that was pretty hard, but we appreciate the sharing, and we are grateful that you're here with us tonight, because you could have been like one of those that you spoke about that ended up in the morgue or was sexually abused and so on. So we are grateful even as we continue to pray with you. So we're going to move on to our next presentation, and Dr. Hewlin will be sharing with us on the topic bullying and helping parents to identify or what to look for to know if your child is being bullied or if your child is a bully, and how do you cope. And she'll be looking at it in two ways: the general bullying, but also cyberbullying, which is a big issue for us now worldwide and certainly in Jamaica as well. Dr. Hewlin is the head of the Cyber Incidents Response Team in the Ministry of Science and Technology, and she's a cybercrime and security consultant, and she's often referred to as the cyber warrior. So you probably have seen her on TV or somewhere out there fighting cyber crimes. She's one of the few females in the field of cyber, and she is a Jamaican. She has an MA in International Leadership and Administration from Western Carolina in the USA. She has an MSc in Information Technology from the University of Liverpool and a PhD in Computer Science from the University of Bedfordshire, and you know that sounds like UK, where she also worked and studied for a number of years. And then in 2014, she loves her country so much that she came back to work with and for Jamaica. After she came back, she started working at the ministry, which is also my ministry. I have the distinct pleasure of working with the Cyber Warrior. And her objective was to drive the creation of a robust cybersecurity framework for Jamaica. She has presented at a number of international conferences, academically and organizationally, on topics related to cybercrime, security, intelligence, and forensics. In 2016, she was tasked with the challenge of building out and heading Jamaica's first cyber incidents response team, which is a division of the ministry. And in addition to that, fulfilling the role, she also leads a public education campaign across Jamaica so that people can be more aware of what cybercrime is and how to prevent it. Please put your hands together and give her a warm Bethel welcome.
Hi, good night. After that introduction, I felt like I should just say, okay, thank you, bye. But it's a topical issue, bullying, and from a cultural perspective, I find we ignore bullying. And so I remember when I came home and I suggested something to someone, bullying, he was writing a text. I said, "Cha, that's a foreign something. Jamaican people don't get bullying." But you'd be surprised to know that a number of our kids are bullied daily. Some of us are able to deal with it, others can't. We have had kids who do things to themselves because they have been bullied. And I always tell people, I noticed that bullying was happening a long time ago. I mean, it was hard to try to bully someone like me because of what bullying is defined to be. because bullying is said to be an unwanted or aggressive behavior, mainly among children. But we know it happens among adults too, but it's mainly among children. It's repeated or has the potential to be repeated. But simply, it is the use of force to intimidate or dominate. Now, depending on your build, sometimes they will not try to bully you. So I say probably I wasn't bullied as a teenager because I was always this size, except with a flatter stomach. So from about 13, I was this tall and this built. So I wouldn't be one of those targets. And I wasn't necessarily quiet, as you may have figured out just from me sitting in the corner there. So I wasn't necessarily quiet. But you have kids who are easily intimidated and thus are prime targets for bullying. Bullying results mainly from what we call an imbalance of power, which is where the physical strength comes in, or the stronger personalities. And if you think back to times when you were at school, you can identify a few bullies. People who thought they were, quote unquote, better for some reason or the other. And sometimes this was the bad child, the one that really shouldn't have considered themselves better than the others. But because of that power that they ascribed to themselves, they stood out and was able to intimidate other persons. I did a presentation 2 weeks ago on bullying, cyberbullying in particular, but it always turned out, because it's the same sort of patterns and things that we see, except that they've moved online. When I listened to that lady in the blue skirt talk, what I noticed is that a lot of what she was speaking about has moved online. But I won't get into that tonight because that will probably scare you from going home. But when I spoke about bullying that day, a lady in the audience was quite annoyed with me. And she said, children today are too fickle. And that is why they can be bullied. And they must stand up and they must be man and you must man up. I know that those are some of the very problems that we have, where a child is being bullied, they come and they try to tell you and what you tell them to do. Man up. Thump down the boy. And so we need to be able to recognize bullying. Bullying usually has to do with teasing, name-calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, or threatening to cause harm. How many people recognizing themselves as bullies just from that? How many people recognizing their kids as bullies? How many people seeing that their younger son is a bully and always bullying the older one? Or your daughters? Just from that. We have also what we call social bullying. And this usually happens in school. And if you think back, sometimes it may be the target for people who were built like me. Leaving someone out on purpose. So you're planning something, and because you figure you must bully little Jane sitting over there, you leave her totally out of it. You're having a birthday party, she comes to the same school, you go to the same church, your parents are a friend, but you decide you don't want her to be a part of this. That also can be considered bullying. Telling other children not to be friends with someone. I know people in here are guilty of that, don't it? Don't talk to her shoes dirty. Yes. People do that. And that is bullying also. Spreading rumors about someone. Do your kids do that? Is that being done to your kids? Have you had to deal with that? Embarrassing people in public. And so we have some parents who are bullies, don't it? But that again is for another. So all of those are bullying. Things that you can pick up. And then you have physical bullying, which is the one that you as a parent are always quick to notice. hitting, kicking, pinching. You ever see some people just pinch someone for no reason? I always find it hard to grasp why someone would pass a kid and pinch them. Because I'm thinking if you did that to me, I would knock you out. But that too is bullying, and people will pinch and thump and hit, tripping and pushing. And you see where the cultural thing that I started out with is coming to play now? Because a lot of these things happen around us, and we see them as just people having fun. When deep down it's just people being mean. And it is bullying. Bullying is a word that we don't like to use because we think it means you're soft. When someone takes or breaks your stuff on purpose, you know, you carry your lunch to school and they take it and stamp up on it, or they take it and eat it, or they take it and throw it away. Making mean or rude hand gestures. Where does bullying happen? I find in our local it happens everywhere. At school, at church, at home, just kids outside supposedly playing, but we tend to ignore it. The good thing, which is not really a good thing, about physical bullying is that it can be picked up on quite quickly and it can be stopped. So usually you find if a child is being bullied at school, so like back in our day, if it was a case where we were being bullied at school, you tell your big brother, your big sister, if you were an only child like me, you go home and you tell your mother, and the bully passing and you tell teacher, and the child gets a look, you go home, you don't have that bullying to deal with until you probably get on the playground the next day. However, we have a new type of bullying. Same things, but they have moved into a different realm. We have what is known as cyberbullying. Now you wonderful parents want to keep track of your kids, so you all give them a cell phone. And not just any cell phone now, you give them a smartphone, a touch screen phone. They can take a picture wherever they are and send it to you. Now with the prevalence of social media, and we all are on social media in this church, right? You're quite tech savvy here. And digital forums, comments, photos, and all those things that we have to do, to use, we are able to record and create somewhat permanent public records of everything that we do. And so, cyberbullying is bullying that takes place over a digital device. For example, a cell phone, a computer, a tablet. It can occur through your text messaging, through the different apps like your WhatsApp that you use, that everybody lives on. And it includes sending or posting and carrying out those same activities I described before, using mainly social media. The difference with this type of bullying is that, one, it's persistent. It's harder to pick up on. It goes with the child wherever they go, and so they're accessible 24 hours a day. As a child, as I said, when we were being bullied, we go home, bullying finish until probably tomorrow or 2 days later when you get back to school. Even if it's in your home. However, with cyberbullying, it is always there. And don't tell me that the child can always turn the phone off. How many persons turn the phone off when they go into their bed? I'm sure if I knew your number and I text you tonight at 2 a.m., you jump up and you look at it. You're only saying that now. But it is persistent. And as youth, they are not going to turn the phones off. They are going to see every threat, every abusive message that comes in on that device. But then that takes me to another realm, which I won't go into because I don't know why people allow their children to go to their beds with their phones at night. That can lead to a whole different set of things. Cyberbullying is permanent. Information that is communicated electronically tends to always be there. So even if you as a good parent decide that, okay, you're going to go through and try to delete, persons would have shared, persons would have screenshot, persons would have downloaded that content. It's hard to notice because the children, as children will try to hide it. Because sometimes when you tell your parents some things, they blow it out of hand and we feel like it's the end of our world. But I'm happy I had a mother who blew everything out of hand. No, Miss Adman, know where I got it from. But we need to be able to observe use of these phones. And other than cyberbullying, if you see your kid, if your kid has a phone, you're a teenager, I really wouldn't expect anybody under 9 to have a cell phone, but these things happen. It's the age of technology. And it's always locked and you can't go through it. Check it. Get it checked. Something could be up. Usually when kids are being bullied, they get withdrawn. They don't want to go to play. They don't want to socialize. They don't want to communicate. You might hear the phone ringing and for some reason someone who always answers the phone just stops answering. Messages come in and you can see the reaction to the messages. I'm afraid as a parent in this age you'll have to be a little bit more observant because you not only have the physical aspects of things such as bullying to deal with, but you have the cyber realm where things move there and they tend to be hidden. The onus is on you, one, to become aware of what is happening and to learn to use the devices. One of the things that people always tell me that we don't know how to use these devices. We don't know what is happening. You're alive in this age. It means that you have the capacity to deal with whatever is happening. It doesn't matter how old you are. You need to educate your children about oversharing and other things that can lead to cyberbullying. So let me start with you as a parent. There are certain things you don't post on social media regarding your children. It could lead to cyberbullying. So you want a trip to Joel's and you're all down there dressed up in your beachwear and you think this is a nice family photo. And you take a picture and you post it online and you tag your teenager. Not a good idea. And so you have discovered the wonders of social media and you go back into all those photographs that you had of little Johnny and little Jane. And when she was bathing in the bathtub and she was naked and she had the sod in her hair and you thought, ooh, it's so cute. And you take a picture of it and you put it up on social media. Stop and think about what that could cause. Because I could be in little Jane's class and it's long time I want to catch her something to attack her about. And you put this wonderful family photo up. And even though it might be a nice photo, I the bully, no man. And I post a comment. Something not nice. I wish I go in a granny bikini there. And the thing with social media, things spread fast. And so even the goodly, nice, and decent Mrs. Kathy over here, who don't trouble nobody, just because she sees this comment, she's not going to go and say, leave the girl's bikini alone. It's a nice bikini. It's quite unlikely with social media. If she's afraid to say something, she's going to like it. She's going to like it or put a little comment like LOL. And then other persons who are braver now start saying, yes, seriously, where should she get that from? And you see, it starts spreading. And before you know it, And then the problem with cyber, it floats over into physical, and physical floats over back into cyber. Imagine Monday morning when she turned up at school and everybody start giggling and laughing, what that does to the child. We haven't seen any cases locally that where anybody has jumped off any roof or killed themselves or anything due to bullying or cyberbullying. Maybe it has happened and we haven't been able to trace it back. But we have had researched cases from overseas where people have committed suicide due to cyberbullying. And I can assure you it's not because they're soft or they're fickle or they're drinking the wrong water. It's because of the effect the constant commenting and badgering from the bullying has had on them. I think it's time we change our culture where that is concerned and accept that a lot of things we think we do for fun or we see kids doing and we think, ha ha ha, it's actually bullying and can actually have an impact on the lives of the child and their behavior. Now, bullying tends to be quite common in social media, as I would have noted. Snapchat and Instagram are the main culprits because that's where you put the photos. And that's where you think it disappears from after a certain time. It doesn't. And even if it does, persons would have downloaded, screenshot, shared. And so this resharing, you see where the problem is? They keep spreading it. Instant messaging and other features of online things. Think of WhatsApp. A lot of people tend to trust WhatsApp. They think it's so safe because they tell you that the message is encrypted and all of that. This is one of the prime places for bullying because you just keep passing it all along. And you just keep sharing and sharing. It's worse if you're in a group. And so these are things that we need to guide our kids regarding now. So it's a new wave for you. And the onus is on you to guide your children where this is concerned about becoming a bully and being bullied. You need to help them to protect themselves. Cyberbullying and bullying often lead to what should be reported to the police because it can lead to physical conflicts. And so sometimes we get things on social media, when we share them, we have to be really careful. Threats of violence on social media can be considered bullying, and whereas bullying is not explicitly stated in our laws, there are other areas in the law that covers bullying. And if you threaten someone and if you bully someone to a certain point, the police will find something in one of the laws under which to prosecute you. Child pornography and sending sexually explicit messages or photos. What you find, as I would have noted earlier, a lot of what Mrs. Bourgeois spoke about has moved online. And so a lot of the times now when children are being abused, especially by strangers or people who just couldn't care less, they record it. And so it moves online. And you realize now how complicated it becomes. Because I was hoping that should be here, because I remember there was a case of a child being sexually abused. And one of her officers, instead of just reporting it to me, sent me the video twice. I had to send her information. I said, darling, you don't have to send the evidence yet. When you want the evidence, we'll come for it. Just report it. But a lot of times these guys, whether wittingly or unwittingly, record it. Especially sorry guys, but the adult males. A lot of what we have seen, the adult males, they tend to record it, post it, and these children are now not only up for bullying, but just scarred for life. And note that if you get one of those videos, and for some strange reason you figure you must watch it, don't share it. Delete it. Being in possession of it, police business. Share it, even a higher level of police business. So that is what one warning you need to take away. These are not only just plain porn, but child abuse videos. Taking a photo of someone in a place where he or she would expect privacy. Now, a lot of times we get calls into schools and they say, oh, doc, we're having a big problem with cyberbullying here. You know what's the big problem? The boys. Boys, I tell you. And in Jamaica, we're going to say, boys will always be boys instead of draping them up as we should do. They climb over or go under in the bathroom where the girls are, take the photos, and then use that to in turn bully the girls. Happening in our schools right here in Jamaica. Those are some of the calls that we have been getting. So we create the environment to bully. So yes, people are wise enough, personalities are stronger, so you can't physically bully anymore. Some people know that they're not to take certain pictures, so we find a way in to take the picture to create the environment so that we can bully. It's something that we really need to start waking up to. Stalking and hate crimes. Considered cyberbullying also, so you see where, again, the police will always find some way to charge you, even if you're going to come smart and say cyberbullying or bullying is not in our laws. There's always somewhere where they're to find you. Your kids can be stalked, and that's where oversharing and the general bullying will present a problem, because when the bullying starts, things start to go wild online, and it's shared and shared, and people begin to see it. Seeking refuge, people will offer refuge, and that presents another set of abuse in itself. So we need to realize that these things, bullying, plain and simple, is wrong. Whether you want to consider that the guy is soft and needs to man up, or it's a part of our culture, we need to wise up now as a people and realize that certain things are just not acceptable. We need to understand that if a child who was always lively suddenly becomes withdrawn, doesn't want to go out to play, doesn't want to go to school, always crying, becomes extremely fickle when they were not, it can be a result of bullying. Through bullying also, we find that they push kids to do other things. So by being the big bully, and I have you on some video conferencing portal like Skype, I can get you to do things now. Go away, it's true you don't have any breasts, why you don't want to show your breast? And as a part of and wanting to get rid of the bullying, you allow that video to be taken of you. These are things that are happening to our kids. It is the reality of our country, our situation, and we have to accept it. Yes, there's no one lying on the floor bleeding, but it can lead to that. And I leave you with an example that I always leave with adults, especially males. Imagine you get one of those videos, right? The same ones that we tell you not to share, but you say it's your phone and police might not catch you. And you decide to share it with a group of friends. And in that video is the daughter or the sister of one of those persons. If you're in a group in a particular setting, you can see how physical that can get. The fact is, some persons do respect their sisters and their mothers and their aunties and their daughters. And if you have a video showing around that includes somebody from their family, it's gonna get physical, and you may eventually get the person lying on the floor with the blood. So bullying, it's real. It's not a foreign people thing anymore. I dare say it was always here, but we need to recognize it now. We need to see that it's having an impact on our society. You think a lot of the guys you see out there doing things, they are being bullied into doing things. Because that's what bullying does. It bullies you. They bully you to get you to do certain things. So they will intimidate you. And that's why we have gangs and all of that, stemming from that one little word that we decided not to pay attention to. So we need to really start paying attention to the word. Because this is how they get people to do things that they wouldn't do under normal circumstances. You ever see police shoot a guy and everybody come and say, oh, good boy, and police shouldn't shoot him? Even though I'm dead with an AK-47 on his hip? And then you have them start to wonder, now, how did that guy, that nice, decent fellow sitting in the corner, end up there? It's because of that same little word that we chose not to pay attention to. And he was being bullied into a corner. And a gangster come and say, come my youth, we work with you. And then you have another set of bullying now. Go on with the gunman, shoot up, but show so you can. That is where it's coming from. We have to accept it, we have to face it, and we have to begin to recognize it in our children. Because that is how people get them to do things. And it will save us some of the shock. So we don't have to wonder, oh, Lord Jesus, how I end up over there so. If we're able to recognize the signs early, we'll be in a better position to protect not only the child themselves, but us and generally our nation. So people, please start paying attention to that little word. And we need to start somewhere to help us from the state that we are at. And know that we know one of the ways that it can start. Let's just start recognizing the signs and trying to help our young people the best way that we can. As the lady said, it doesn't have to be your child. If you always see Johnny skipping past, or that may be Jane, and all of a sudden him loud and him don't want this and all, raise an alert. Have it checked. All right? Have a good night. Questions? Oh, yeah. Yes? Mm-hmm. That is one of the biggest bullying thing, you know. That is one of the biggest bullying line. And that is a clear-cut case of bullying. So what does he do? So he deals with it in his own way. And I guess because you have recognized it, you are able to intervene. He's a nice, decent fellow. He has a good mother. Because if it was some other family home, it would be a different story. So obviously you're doing a good job because you have recognized it. So you can just continue to mediate and try to calm her down. Because if she does that to some people outside of the home, of course, bullies can come to church. It's just up to the church now to help to change them. Maybe if she comes, she would have had a different outlook. So, well, at least he has the church. Yes, dear. to the parent? You need to speak to the parent. Talk to the parent. You need to talk about the parent and the teacher because it's going to happen mainly in school. Threatening is a form of bullying because bullying can become criminal activity when it involves threats. So if somebody has been bullying you and you're afraid to go to the police, the moment a threat comes into play, you can go. And if we can sift and find some threat in there, because even with the online version, mainly that's what they use. An example, I know many of you may have heard of, like, I think it was about a year ago when there was a case with Lisa Hanna. She's always bullied online, constantly bullied online. I get bullied online to go through. And she really doesn't pay it any mind. And one night it got out of hand where the persons threatened her. And the moment she saw that, she went down to the cybercrimes unit. So, whereas some of us are able to put up with the bullying the moment it gets to a threat, but you don't have to wait on it to get to that point. You have to speak to someone about it. And you don't necessarily have to go thump down the person or something like that, but because this is a church. And certain questions you should avoid asking me in church. You ask me that outside when you're going into the van, and I tell you exactly what you should do. But on a serious note, though, threats are not to be taken lightly, especially in this current environment. In this day and age, if you tell me that you're going to take away my shoes, I take it seriously. So really, don't play around with threats. And you really need to talk to the parent and the teacher, especially the teacher, because she's the one in the school. All right?
Please give Dr. Hewlin a warmer round of applause. Thank you. Are there any more questions? Please don't be shy. For the two ladies that asked the questions earlier, come quickly for your tokens. Go ahead. Sister Michelle, have a seat, please. Thanks. Go ahead. If anger problem is a bully, Dr. Hewlin?